annual Garden State Film Festival. This year, there will be 200 films from over 14 countries screening the weekend of March 21st to the 24th of this year. I am your host, Emily DeSimone, and I am here with director-writer Tori Coatson of the short Pics. Tori, thank you so much for joining me today. Please tell me what inspired your writing for Pics.
Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for having me today. That is an excellent question. It's kind of a twofold story. One was I really care about women feeling like they have a safe space on set. I used to be an actor, so that was very important to me, and I had never gotten to work with an intimacy coordinator before. So I really set out to write something that allowed me to work in that space. I wanted to know what that was like. I wanted to open up a space for an actor to feel really comfortable in her own skin. So that was like the first reason that I started to write this film. How it came to be the story that it is I was in a long distance relationship for a little over 2 years, and it becomes very difficult to feel sexy in your skin when you don't have somebody around to, have physical touch or to look at you in that way. So I just wanted to let people know that they can feel sexy and powerful in whatever way that looks like for them, and kind of took hold from there. I had a lot of great collaborators with me who came up with ideas on the film as well. So it just took off from that.
And where did you find your collaborators for this film?
So this was a project. I'm a Peter Stark producing MFA program at USC, and we do our first year everybody, and we all vote for each other's films, and we get to take 12 of them and make them in that spring. I was fortunate enough to pitch this and have my other classmates select me, and then we get put into groups of 4. So I worked with Joshua Toro, Hannah Gibbons, and Isabel Wyatt, 3 of the best humans I know, and they all got to, give notes on the script and help me out. And each of them took a different role as a producer, as the editor, and as the cinematographer.
So you were saying that you've worked as an actress before,
yes.
And then with this work, you directed and you wrote this work. So what is it like, being in front of the screen versus being behind the screen?
It's very different. I was working on a television show on set as an actor, and I started talking to the first AD, and everything he told me about the behind the scenes just sounded so much more my speed. I'm a bit of a control freak, and when I realized that I could pick and choose every single detail of a film, I was like, I need to be doing this. I do think that my background in acting allows me to have such a better relationship with performers when I'm directing. Zoe and Bianca, who are our 2 lead women in this film, I just had such a fun time with them, and I think I was able to do that because I've been in their shoes, and we could dive deeper, and I could answer questions that I knew that I would want to hear as an actor. So I think that every single director should take a couple acting classes or try it out in a short, because it really gave me so much insight into what they're thinking on the day when I'm trying to direct them.
So with your film program, are you focused on being a director, or is this like you're given many different hats to study?
We are technically a producing program, which is what I came in to do, but the program does a really good job of making sure that you do every single role. So I've edited a film, I've been the DP on a film, I've produced lots of films, but I've also gotten to write and direct. I had directed a couple of shorts before this, so it wasn't new to me, but it's been a lovely program for really helping me gear towards what I want to do, and I love directing and I love writing, but I've really found my niche as a producer, and I think the future is a combo of producing and directing. I'm producing quite a few projects right now. Don't have anything directing on the docket at the moment, but a great way to kind of figure out what lane suits you. And I think the most important thing in entertainment is to not silo yourself in. You can allow yourself to do all the different things that you want to do, and this program does a really great job of that.
So are you a graduate student in your program at this time?
Yes, I graduate in May. I'm very excited. It's an interesting program because it's all night classes. So I do work on top. I produce on the weekends, and I don't sleep.
It's okay. You can sleep when you're dead, right? Is that what they say?
Exactly,
But
exactly.
so with that said, it sounds like you have quite a bit of education. You're fortunate enough to have this education in production and
Yeah.
directing and writing and editing. So, what was a challenge that you faced that you overcame, whether it was something that you learned from this program or just something that you learned through experiencing it that you think has made you a stronger producer or director, writer moving forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. I didn't always have a background in production. I got my undergrad in economics. So all of this learning in the past 2 years has definitely been new to me. I've been fortunate enough to produce many great sets, and the best thing that I learned is how to manage people. A lot of producing and directing is just, learning how to collaborate with people, talk with people, make them feel comfortable. I think that the most important lesson I learned was that if people on set feel good and they feel good working with you and they go to work happy every day, you just have a better film. I had a director that I worked with. I was a script supervisor on this my first year in the program, who did a compliment jar every morning. So you could throughout the day put compliments in a jar, and then every morning at our safety meeting on production, we read them all aloud. And I have used that on every set since. I think it is the best way to foster a safe and happy environment on film sets, which is oddly harder to do than you would think. Very stressful situations for everyone. So yeah, that has been something that I didn't experience on sets always. And since I've been in this program, I've really, really just loved going to work every day. And I think that that is so important. Important. Sorry, I take a
No,
glass of water.
no, you're totally fine. So then with this film specifically, what would you say was your favorite part in directing and writing and producing, when it comes to, I know you said you didn't produce this film, but what was your favorite part of this film specifically?
I loved doing the photo shoot scene. Zoe Sher, who plays Harper in the film, was just such a trooper. And working with her and my intimacy coordinator, we came out with a huge plan in advance. It's going to go. We, worked on costumes that she felt comfortable in. We just had a lot of fun. And anyone who sees the film will see this photo shoot was a very interesting thing to shoot. And Zoe let me have so much creative freedom with it. She really tried everything. There were several shots that were quite out there. I don't think all of them made it into the film. Some of my favorites didn't. But I remember walking outside after, and my producer came up to me and he was like, "How do we feel?" Because this was the big one. It took up like an entire day of our schedule. How are we feeling? And I just shed a little tear and I was like, "This feels so good." And then I showed we took practical Polaroids of Zoe and up to her. And she said that that was the most beautiful she had ever felt. And that to me was just the most amazing thing a director could ever hear, that like in the story, this girl is going on this journey. Sorry, I'm tearing up a little thinking about
No,
it.
absolutely.
But Zoe got to go on her own little journey and feel more empowered in her own skin because of this. And then she made me cry again when she said that. So it was a great but emotional day on set.
No, that's really wonderful to hear. I mean, you're making this film for female safe spaces and for a
Yeah,
woman to feel beautiful in her own skin. So that's fantastic that, you have an actor who's doing this project that benefited from that message specifically while on this project with you. So, I mean,
it
like
was
with that, what is your future with Chick Pics?
Chick Fix is actually a proof of concept for a feature that I have been diligently writing. It is, I think that the ending, I won't give it away, but the ending is a glimpse into what that will be. It is very like Love Actually esque and dealing with tech and relationships and what that looks like in the modern world. Um, I'm loving writing it. I'm loving figuring out where it's going to go next. So not sure exactly when it'll head into production, but I have no doubt I will be making the film in the future. And in the meantime, I'm trying to make anything I can that really promotes women's stories, I'm very, very passionate about that space, and I love exploring female characters and all of our complexities. So yeah, Chick Flicks was a great inspiration for everything that is to come.
Well, congratulations on being accepted into the Garden State Film
Thank
Festival with
you.
this beautiful piece. How did you find the Garden State Film Festival, being that you are, I am assuming, in Southern California at this time?
I am in Southern California. I've been out here for about three and a half, 2.5, somewhere around there. Longer than I thought I would make it. But I grew up in Jersey. I grew up in
That's
Morris County area. My parents actually live over near Asbury Park now, so I'm excited to go home and see them for a weekend. I love New Jersey with my whole heart. If there was more of LA out there, I would stay home. And I know that we're building some bigger film studios, so maybe soon. But I love New Jersey. I've always wanted to be a part of the Garden State Film Festival. It's my dream to ever actually get in. I think I've submitted a couple of times. Um,
oh,
so that's
congratulations.
super exciting. Thank you. It'll be nice to go home, and a lot of my friends from home who don't get to see everything that I do out here will be able to come. So I'm excited for that.
And you know what, you guys, you get to check out the short Chick Pics at Asbury Lanes on Saturday, March 23rd during the 11:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. block. Tori, I hope to see you at the Garden State Film Festival. I know you're so excited, so I am really excited
I'm
to
so
see
excited to
you,
come.
where there are 200 films screening across 8 venues, including hosting parties, panels, events, and more. You guys can get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. I'm your host, Emily DeSimone. Tori, thank you so much for joining with
Thank
me
you.
today. I'm so excited to have this, to see your feature and the message that it will provide to women that will be watching it. So thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
such a pleasure, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.